Hello and welcome to another episode of I've Got Questions. I'm your host, Kadie, and today, I have no words to tell you how excited I am. I have the one, the only Steffi with me who's going to share her life's journey of her whys and her purpose. So stick around. We'll be back soon. Welcome back. Welcome back. Help me welcome. Steffi's in the building.
Hey, Katie.
How you
I'm
doing?
doing good, girl.
See, you guys can't see this, but Lord have mercy, she look good. She just looking like life treating her well.
Feeling fresh and blessed, girl.
Oh, Jesus, is that the 2025 motto you're going with?
Positivity always.
If you listen to one of my previous episodes, you know that this is the friendship we talk about when we say we need to surround ourselves with positive people, positive energy all day, every day. So, Steffi, let's get into it. I have gone through, a couple years of my life really trying to figure out, and I know a lot of our listeners have gone through this, trying to understand their purpose in life. And then their whys. It's like, what is my purpose? And when I thought about this topic, I had to take a step back myself and I was like, have I actually dove into what my purpose is and how that is attached to my why? And I was like, through a little bit of work, some therapy, because we all need a little bit of therapy in our lives, I realized that I actually do appreciate those two concepts. And I was able to fit them into somewhat categories that I think would work for me. So, for instance, my purpose, after I said many, many conversations between me and the therapist, I realized that my purpose in life is to just be a decent person. It sounds so cliche. But in this day and age, I find that people are so fake, so disingenuous, like you name it. I was like, what is your purpose? Just be a decent human being. And then I decided to sprinkle on top of that a little bit of helping people along the way to unlock their better self and companies, because I need my coins. So we're going to talk about that. But then I was like, well, then what is your why? And I was like, oh, I figured it out. So my purpose is for me like my roadmap. It's like, this is where we're going. This is the end result. And then I look at my whys, and these are the stop signs and the signs on the roads that tells me where I am. And should I be turning left or right? If that makes any sense.
It does make a lot of sense, Katie.
Good, because I was trying to make sure that it did make some kind of sense to myself for a little bit. But as I thought through it, I was like, my whys are subjective, they also change as I go along, as I go through life, because the reason I do something normally has some kind of tracing back to my purpose in life. And when I look at somebody like you, I'm like, and you can elaborate on this, because it's always easy to look on the outside and see the majestic being that you are as a human being and say, this girl has got it. She knows her purpose in life. She is definitely understanding her whys, and she's leading a trailblazing path for everybody to follow. And it's amazing. But what we do know is that behind that, there's always more. And so I want to know today, what is your purpose and how do you connect that to your why?
So, to be very honest, Katie, I am a very unconventional person. And from a very early age, I realized that I was a square trying to fit into a circle peg. And it was just not working. I was always different from my friends, different from my siblings. And I just had to understand that I'm a very unique person.
Okay.
And instead of trying to fit in with other people, I just had to come to a sense in myself that being my true authentic self is the only way I feel good and happy with myself, and with this, when you sent through these questions, I did give it some thought and consideration, and I believe my why is just saying yes. And I know a lot of people may ask questions, but as we go through, you'll understand what I mean by just saying yes. And I've been on this journey for the past few years of my life, and There are so many things that I thought I could never accomplish because I had crippling anxiety. I had the negative thoughts of other people in my head. And when I realized that I'm a creative person and I am different, I just had to say yes and go. And then that's how my yes met with my purpose. Cause I too, like you, didn't know my purpose in life, but I know that I enjoy helping people. But
sometime and for profit. I prefer the for profit, but I don't work for free.
Yeah. So the more I continued into my yes and doing different things, the more opportunities for me to meet different people so that I can help them on their journey in life. So that's how my why is meeting with my purpose.
As you said, yes, I was in another meeting, and that very same conversation came up and the question was asked, it was just yesterday. The question was asked, what was your biggest takeaway from the meeting that was held? And somebody said it's to stop saying yes. Because for them, saying yes meant they were, 9 out of 10 times committed to things they didn't want to do. And I find that a lot of people on this journey have just committed to either saying yes or saying no, but never truly diving into why they're saying yes or no. Tell me more.
But see, like when I look at life, I look at life with positives and negatives. So when I look at a yes, I think a yes is a positive. When I look at no, a no is a negative. You need no's for boundaries in terms of you're not going to allow someone to walk all over you. You're not going to do something that you don't want to do.
True.
But when I look at yes, I look at it from the perspective of why can't I do this? Yes, I want to do this. Yes, I want to accomplish this. Mm. And it's not me saying yes to everything and everybody, but it's me saying yes to things that serve me.
I'm going to talk to you. I'm going to bring you onto my other podcast. We'll talk about the reason why we say yes and no, because the journey of life is such a unique one that when we look at our individual purposes and we try to analyze and, break it down into small bite-sized pieces, we find that a lot of people struggle, just coming to terms with who they are as a person. Self-awareness is one of those things that I find so lacking this day and age, where people just like, I'm like, you can't see, how are you not seeing this? Am I the only person who has glasses on that is able to actively see what is happening? So when I talk to my other siblings or other friends around me, and I ask them this question of how do you decipher what your why is, and how do you insert the yes and no boundaries, and it always feels so forced. It's like the thought process that is required to go in deep. It's like a lot of people have never really taken that step back to analyze themselves, to see how their whys are connected to their purpose, or if there is any connection at all. Now, you talked about, from a young age, you clearly know that, listen, I am the odd one out. I am the Charlie Brown tree. Don't worry about me. I'm gonna be rocking. But as you got older, you went through college. I'm sure you've went to several friendships and stuff. How do you think those experiences have shaped your whys and your purpose in life?
Well, looking at it from that perspective is that I always say to people, life is a journey, and every single thing that we experience in life, every goal that we accomplished, every skill that we learn on a job, even if it's a job that you absolutely hate, nothing in life is wasted. And sometimes I joke and I'll say to, I'm not really joking, but I will say to my nieces that, go to school, get your education, work in different areas of your job so that you can learn different skills. Because at the end of the day, the education and the skills that you take away from doing these things, no one can ever take that away from you. You can always transfer skills, transfer knowledge into so many different aspects of your life. And when I look at it from that perspective, and I say life is a journey, and by moving through life, if you take it to say I'm not just gonna tick off a box and go. I'm gonna embrace the various experiences that I've had in life. I'm gonna embrace the various friendships, the ones that are gone, the ones that I, here to stay, like your friendship and my friendship, it's been years. And at the end of the day, you got to look at it from the perspective that even with lost friendships, I still learned about myself.
Yeah. There's definitely a lesson there to be learned.
Yeah. So that's how I look at life at the end of the day. And that's what's driving me forward.
It is beautiful to hear that, because even in this state, I struggle sometimes. I go out and I'm like, I get it. I know why I'm doing this. I know what my purpose is. But there is a part of us that sometimes, maybe it's fear, maybe it's I don't know what it is, that keeps us bound to the individual we have crafted out over the period of time that we've been on this earth. And so it becomes very difficult to shift and change the way we look at things and change the way we view things, and then go, you know what? I can do something different. And when you talk about those transferable skills, that was something that I struggled with. I only came into my own probably 5 years ago, where I was like, Goody, so you can just go out there, say yes. Because through that 5-year process, I have now genuinely come into my own as to understanding my purpose, looking at my whys, and then following that journey. And it's not easy. I'm sure along the way, you've had many challenges, many tests. You're just like, you know what, this damn journey, this whole purpose, and this why can go find somewhere else to be.
Very true,
Just
Kadie.
go on about your business. I ain't got time for this, and I don't want to deal with this foolishness. But right now, more than ever, we're finding a lot more people coming forward and really diving into understanding themselves, trying to be self-aware, trying to be self-conscious of every single thing. Sometimes I feel like we're way too self-conscious, but we're gonna go into that in our next situation. But I wanted to ask, because I know, again, a lot of the people who are listening are struggling, are trying to find that strength inside of them. The same one me you find, because yeah, to go internally and pull out their whys. What did you use to really pull that out of you and say, you know what? I need to understand myself. I need to understand my purpose, and I need to I need to make sure that my whys connect with each other and that we're flowing seamlessly with each other.
Well, this is what I found. The more I said yes, the more doors open for me. And the more people realize that I am a risk taker, and I'm not afraid to expand my horizons. And this,
figuratively and literally and all the other
and this has helped me in my career. This has also helped me in my personal life, and this has also helped me with my goals. And it's like in every situation, if you want to look at it like you're making a pants and you have 4 pockets in your pants, I can live in one pocket, but if I decide to expand my horizons, I can move into different pockets in the pants. And when I move around, I'll meet other people. And the more people that I meet, I realize that these are other people that are people that I can help, because it doesn't matter what level you are. You could be, the richest person in the world,
or a struggling podcaster,
or a struggling podcaster. It's like everyone is battling some form of mental health issue. And I also battle mental health issues.
Yeah.
So it aligns with my purpose, because I am able to move into different pockets as I'm describing right now, and to meet people at different levels in their lives and say, hey, this is where I'm coming from, and this is what I'm doing to get to where I want to go.
Yeah.
And sometimes I feel like I'm going in a circle. Sometimes I don't even know where I'm going to end up. But it's so important to take the risk to say the yes. And then I start meeting other people that I eventually can help, so that I can fulfill that part of my purpose.
And you think that because you said yes, it attracted those positive feedbacks, those positive people into your ear, those positive situations that even build on top of your whys and your purpose?
Of course. Because when people look at me and they're like, oh, so what's your job? And I explain my career and they're like, well, what are you doing here? And it's like I laugh at it and I say, I don't even know why I'm here, but I'm here, and like, how did I, this is how I got to actually meet you. and we just have to just go with the flow.
I know that a lot of people, as I said, we know this right across the board. You touched on mental health, and that again really intertwines with our purposes and our whys. But one of the things that we found now, it's becoming quite a trendy topic. People are doing it not because they genuinely want to find their purpose or understand their why. It's almost in the same category as I am now manifesting and I'm now mindful and those things are important, and I feel like they do have deeper meanings and should be dealt with accordingly. But for people who are listening to this and are like, oh, yeah, here are the two people sitting down talking. They clearly got their life figured out better than anybody else, which I don't know which two people, but I don't know. There's someone. Yeah,
Let me know.
Can I speak for you? One of the things that somebody mentioned to me was it is easier to sit there and say, this is how you find your why when you found your why. This is how you find your purpose when you found your purpose. But nobody ever truly dives into the aspect of how to help somebody to find those things. Because at least for me, I am no expert. I can only speak for what works for me. I can't come out here and give you, I might have to charge a couple $1,000s just to help you out. But what I do know is that, and I'm sure the listeners would love to hear as well, is what is the next step? It is all good and dandy that we've both found our purpose. It is all cute that we found, our whys, and we are leaning into the version of ourselves and really building on it. But for Joe Junker Otador, who don't have no idea how to find their whys and who don't want to spend thousands of dollars to go and sit down with a therapist and dig up them past and so they can tell them about their future, what is that one thing that you'd say to them that, hey, try this?
Well, the first thing is, I believe from we were born from our mother's womb, we all have something in us that is pulling us towards one direction or the other. And this is why I find it so important that if you have dreams, don't share it with other people who don't have similar dreams that you have.
Do you want to be a podcaster? Is that what you're telling me? We should talk about this?
No. It's not that because like the one thing I find is that your mission is yours.
That is true.
And I find, especially like when I was younger and I would say things to other people, they didn't understand the visions that I got for my life because the vision was never theirs to begin with. It's similar to Michael Jordan want to get up every day and practice and play basketball. I don't have that burning desire to play basketball. So if Michael Jordan didn't have people around him that encouraged him, and even him having self-encouragement as well, to ignore everybody else and to go out there and do what needs to be done, then he would have been one of the greatest basketball players to ever live.
Yeah.
And I say this to people all the time, is that your vision is for you. And in order for you to find your vision, you have to offload the negative self-thoughts. You have to offload all of the negative words that other people have spoken over you. And you sit down and you make a list of, what am I good at? What do I enjoy? And again, this is where it comes back full circle. Start living in your yes and say, okay, well, I feel like, I want to be an artist. What kind of artist do you want to be?
A struggling one.
Do you want to do photography? Do you want to do painting? Do you want to do digital art? Try your hands in different things to figure out what are you good at?
Yeah.
Because if you're doing something and you're struggling, And more than likely, this is something that someone planted in your head. And it's not for you, because everything that you want to do, you've been born with these skills. You've been born with the natural ability to fit into your purpose. So take a step back, and it doesn't matter how many years you believe that you've gone down the wrong road. You can always start today.
I mean, you guys aren't seeing it, but I'm slowly giving her one of those, what is it, poetry clapping, where you just snap your fingers like, yes, because I connect with that on a level that is unreal. Because I started my degree in 2004. 2004. Crazy to even think about. But I was fresh out of college. I had just moved here. My parents got me into college. And then the storm happened, and then life happened. And before you know it, I 30 and I'm just in the process of going through completing. I'm actually a class and a half away from earning my bachelor's degree. And I'm moving right into my MBA. And had I listened to every naysayer, every non-supporter, I wouldn't be where I am today. But I was blessed. And it's the one thing I can honestly lift my two hands up and say, thank you, God, universe, Allah, Moses, Mary, Jesus, the donkey that they took to Bethlehem, all of that, that I am surrounded by some powerful women, some movers and shakers, some women who make me go, wow. And it's not from a state of jealousy. It's from a state of admiration. Because not once have any of you ever said, so you ain't got no education, huh? But you want to move in this circle of educated women? No, it's always be you, wholeheartedly, 100% yourself. Authenticness has never gone out of style. And I want to let you know right now how much I appreciate being able to be a part of your journey, wherever it leads. Sometimes I feel like it's right off of one cliff, we're going to skydive, but needless to say,
those are the best ones.
I mean, who child? But it feels refreshing. It feels encouraging, motivating, all of that, to know that I am surrounded by so much support. And it really brought tears to my eyes the other day when I sat down and I was like, geez, so you want to do a podcast? Because I sat down and I thought to myself, what are you good at? What do you like to do? And I was like, I love to talk to people about people business. And I was like, that is not gonna work. It's not the avenue you want to go with this. And I was like, throughout my entire life, I've heard you do very well at interviews. You do very well at talking. And I was like, aha, I have an idea. I'm gonna have a podcast where I just talk about the struggles I've gone through, the triumphs, because I don't know why everybody think everything has to have a struggle story behind it. Share what you've been through, because it will help somebody, even if it's one person. And when I started out and I saw the feedback and I saw you guys listening, it really made me go, well, goddamn, purpose and why connected, hit the mark, boom, that's it, continue. And I'm very much appreciative that I'm able to look at you guys' blueprint and go, all right, they've laid the foundation for me. All I need to do is come in and add my interior design skills. Very limited, very, very limited. But you guys have done a good job at allowing the people around you to feel wanted, loved, and cared for and supported. So I am not even surprised that you're attracting everything but Gandhi next to you, and I'm pretty sure he might pop out here somewhere.
I wish.
I'm looking for him or what is that guy, Jay Shetty or Trevor, or somebody gonna pop out somewhere and be like, yes, wise one. This is one of our offlings. But I can't thank you enough for taking the time today to share with me, the listeners, about your why. And I know that your why doesn't stop here, because you have a bigger purpose. Whatever that purpose is, I am just happy I have a front row seat and good wine, so I can see it up close and personal. So again, I want to thank you. But before I say all of the goodbyes, is there anything else you would like to add? For anybody listening, just like, hey, do this for your why, don't do this. Quick and easy.
I guess, I don't know, Kadie, I mean, you said it all. And one of the most important things that you've mentioned is your circle.
Mm.
Be in the right circle. Be in a circle where you have people who are doing things with their life and you can see that they want to grow. Because when you're around people who are motivated, you get motivated as well. And it's just like if you want to run a marathon, you can't hang out with people who are couch potatoes.
Mm.
You got to hang out with people who are cleaning their shoes, running every day.
Mm.
You know, they're outside or they're making movements.
Ooh,
So
that's
keep
good.
you gotta if you want to keep moving forward, if you want to be in your yes, and if you want to be living in your purpose, you absolutely have to keep moving forward and have a good circle that will encourage you daily because it's a journey.
Mm. You know, I can't think of a better way to end that. Because when you talk about movement, I always, this thing always comes back to me that Denzel Washington said, do not confuse movement with progress, because people can stay in one place and just jump up and down and they're moving, but you need that group of people who are going to move you from one place to the next, who are going to support you. And
Yep.
perfectly said, beautifully said. And again, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you, Kadie.
And thank you again to everybody that's listening. I'm so emotional. I don't even know how to wrap this up other than, oh my God, thank you, Steffi. I'm just take that part out. No, I won't take that part out. I won't. But thank you again for joining me. And to everybody listening, remember to explore your why, because it can really lead to some life-changing experiences. Stay curious and keep asking questions. Until next time, we will talk soon.